Okay, go ahead and do that for me. 4,500 times 0.0075.
32.75.
Okay, do we see that? Does everyone come up with the same answer?
Wait, what about
4,500 times, that's what parentheses mean, 0.0075.
4,500 times 0.00?
I got 33.75.
Very good. Okay, so guess what? We just did this, and we did this, right? Now we're ready to finish this problem. Violet, stay with me. So now we're going to take this 1375, and we're going to multiply it by this. Go ahead and do that. 13.7 times 1.196413529. Does that matter?
No.
Yes, it does matter. Every amount matters because as the term starts to go up, these little halves of a percent make a difference in the payment.
Yeah, I got
Oh.
40.378956.
You guys are tracking. This is excellent. So you see this number right here? We just solved everything to the top of the formula. Okay?
Yep.
So we're done with the top. Now we're going to deal with the bottom. Guess what? The bottom's way easier, right? Because we took this amount, right, and we got this. All this is saying is the same thing. It's 1 plus the rate at the exponent of n minus 1. So guess what? Watch this, Violet. We can take all this information and just get rid of the 1. Does everyone see that?
Yep.
We already did the calculation up here. All this is saying is all this information minus 1. So we can get rid of the 1 and we write this on the bottom. Okay, let me see thumbs up or down on this. Okay. Okay, we're almost done. We take this amount, go ahead and do it. 40.3789566 and divide it by 0.1964135529. Tell me what your answer is.
205.5813406.
Okay, did everyone get that? Okay, guess what? We just figured out the monthly payment. Now the rest of this doesn't matter, okay? We're focusing on this right here, right? Because it's money. We just figured out the monthly payment. The next two are easy. Okay, Jason, remember what we talked about, right? This part, we'll get to this in a second. I broke this step 2 out, okay? This step 2 is right here at the bottom, taking this rate minus 1, okay? I'm just taking the rate, minusing 1, and that's how I got to the bottom of the equation. Thumbs up, down, go through it again? Okay, good, good, good. You guys are doing well. Okay, so we know our monthly payment, right? So now we got to figure out the total repaid. So remember, when we're doing our formula, like this is the table, right? Well, in this equation, it's following this whole formula. Then both problems, you follow these 2 last steps. Okay? So we're going to take that monthly payment. How many payments was it?
4.
24. 24 loan, because we know n payments is 24. So go ahead and put that in your calculator. $205.58 times 24. Tell me what you came up with.
4,933.92.
So we all came up with the same thing?
Yep.
Okay, guess what we just figured out? We figured out the total amount they paid on the loan. This was their monthly payment times 24. This is the total amount that they paid. Now, very last step. How much did they borrow?
4,500.
Yes. So all we're going to do is take this amount and we're going to subtract it by 4,500, and there's our interest. We figured it out.
$133.92.
Very good.
But then we're getting interest?
We took the total amount of the payment, multiplied by the term, 24 months, and we got this amount, $4,933.92. The original amount that they borrowed was $4,500.
Yeah.
So we take the principal amount that they borrowed, subtract by the number that we got, the total amount, the interest, and this gives us what our interest is. Okay? So this right here, this is interest and principal together. Okay? So interest and principal together, this is the total amount we paid, or what? What was one of those vocab words in the first section? Starts with an M. 2 words. What happens when you grow up, hopefully?
Mature.
Yes, very good.
Oh, maturity value.
Yep, maturity value. So maturity value is the interest and the principal all together. It's a total amount repaid, okay? Once we know this, we can subtract it by the original amount. Because remember, this was the original amount that they paid, right? So that's why we have to subtract it. Total amount repaid, total amount they borrowed, what's left over is what the interest is. Okay, I want to, even though it's not within the examples, I want to cover something so you guys understand something for life, okay? This is the way a loan works. You have an X and you have a Y axis, okay? And I love this because I had a conference when I was at Washington, D.C. when I was gone that Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lady giving a presentation to 12,000 people, all educators. And she was going through data from the brain. Okay, and she was using all these graphs and all this data and so on. And she made a statement that just made me laugh. She goes, you know something? I was never strong at math, especially Algebra 2, and I never got it. So right towards the end of the lecture, or when she was presenting to us, I raised my hand to point something out to her, and that was this. I said, you actually are using Algebra 2 because the actual data that you're using, the maps that you were reading, so on and so forth, that is algebra in its finest. That's exactly what it is. So you guys are using algebra. She didn't even know that she was using algebra and mastered it because she was able to read data. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's being able to read data. Okay? So that's why I'm going to explain something to you that you should know moving forward in your life, okay? This right here, the y-axis, is going to be interest, okay? This right here is principal, okay? Principal means the amount that you owe, okay? The more and more principal that you pay down, the faster you pay a loan off regardless of the term, okay? So I'm going to walk you through this. So the way a loan works always is this way. It's heavy loaded in interest and then gets smaller as the loan finishes, okay? So that means principal is going to be the exact opposite, all right? Principal is going to start low and get high towards the end. Are you guys tracking? So this is the principal paid, and this is the interest paid. Okay? Are you following me?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you why this is important. And let's say this is a home loan, okay? So this is year 1 and this is year 30, okay? And let's say your grandma is thinking about refinancing her house because she got some mailer and thing that it could save her hundreds of dollars in the month, okay? But let's say she was at year 22, okay? So she's over here on this side of the loan, okay? Unless she's doing it because she needs capital, she needs money for something else, it doesn't make sense to do it. And let me explain why. Even though the rate might be higher and she might be getting a lower rate, guess what's happening? That loan is resetting. It's starting all over again. And typically when you start a loan, most of your payment that you're making every single month is interest. You're paying that loan down at a very small amount. So once you get to this side of the loan, you've already paid the bulk of the cost of the loan.
Is that why it's so high at the top?
Yes, that's why it's so high at the top. You're paying way, way more interest than you do in principal. Now I hope that you remember this because every single one of you in here is going to have a car loan at some point, okay? And you're going to get that first statement, okay? And your car payment is going to be $313.23. Let's hope that it's not and you come back all freaked out and so on. Like, how's that possible? I'm just giving you a number. So this is going to be your payment, right? Well, guess what? And we're going to get further into this section, so this is going to be relative. In that first payment, you're going to see that you're paying $12.16 in principal. That's how much you're paying down your loan. But you're like, wait a minute. I gave the bank $313.23. How am I only paying my loan down by this amount? This is why right here, okay? The bank gets paid first before anything, and that's the way rates work, okay? So as this keeps going, payment 1 When you get down to payment 30, then it's going to be the opposite. It's going to flip. Okay? You're gonna have $300 and something in principal and very little interest. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
This is the way life is. This is the way it works.
Repeat that last part again, please.
This is going to flip. So what's going to happen is, when you first make your first payment, you're going to be paying almost all of it to interest. And every time you make that payment, every time you write that check, every time you hit electronic transfer in your bill pay or whatever, and you're making that payment, you're going to get that statement next month. And you're like, it's exactly the same. I paid it down $10, $12, $13. What's the deal? You don't feel that way as the loan matures. Now you have an advantage. Your advantage is, by you just taking this payment and adding $50 or $60 to it, you're lowering your cost at the end of the day. Because now, rather than $12, $62 is going to it, right? So what's going to happen at the end of this loan, let's say it's a 60-month term. You're going to pay it off way before the term is done. Does that make sense? So you need to know this. You need to know this because if you have a 4-year car loan and the bank comes to you and says, or you get something in the mail that says, we can lower your car payment. Yeah, they can lower your car payment because you almost have it paid off. You're starting this cycle all over again. Okay?
Start over again, though.
Brand new loan. Brand new loan, minute one, more interest at the start. As a loan matures and gets further along, you're paying more in principal, more in interest in the front. So more interest in the front, more principal in the rear. Make sense? This concept in life is important. You need to know this going in. So you're not surprised. You're not surprised when you get that statement and you're making your $313.23 payment every single month, and at the end of the year you realize, I just paid off $80 of my loan. How's that possible when I'm sending them $300? Make sense? That's the way it is. That's life. Okay, are we good on this?
Like, bro.
Yeah. But that's the way it is, right? Hey, the bank is there to make money.
Yeah.
Okay? The bank, in most loans, they're going to make their money up front, not in the back.
Well, I mean, I didn't buy my car from the dealership, so I just pay in car insurance
And that's because it's interest, like, they just take it.
Yes. That's the way loans work, because you're paying on the full amount of what the principal is, right? And the amount of interest is front-loaded in the loan, okay? So you have to cover the cost of this loan, where the bank could care less if you refinanced here. They don't care because they've already made their money, a bulk of their money. They're making so little on interest, and they've been paid back so much that it doesn't matter to them. They have no more risk. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, a lot of numbers, complicated, right? But we walk through all the steps. That's why your notes and the clarity of your notes are important. Now, this is what I would tell you to do. Take this example when you go to do these problems, and you don't have a lot of them. You don't have a lot of them that are this way, okay? Follow it exactly the same way. Write this on the top of your paper. Now, you're looking at this, you know what this is. You just got to plug the numbers in. Okay? Good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.